this is what I'm working with. I have this full bag and I have this full bag. And the majority of what's in here are just pants that need to be turned into skirts. Now some of them are already turned into skirts like this one, but I have so many more and I feel like I'm up to my ears in projects at this point. So I'm gonna knock out as many as I can in one day. This fabric I got a while ago from someone who had found it, and it was found in like an antique trunk. It's this really, it's like a light denim, light blue denim, and it's really soft. I've never really felt denim fabric like this before. It's not too heavy, not too light, and I was really excited to use it. I actually already had a project in mind that I wanted to use it for, but the smell, it smells like an old musty house. And I've washed it, I let it air out outside, and the smell just won't leave. Yeah, it smells like a really musty old house. So I'm gonna wash it again today with some detergent that is more suited for removing odors, and I'm really hoping that it can work because I really want to use this fabric. If not, it's gonna stay under my bed for another few months until I find another remedy that might work. Good morning. It is the next day. Just after I just after I filmed that clip yesterday, no sewing took place. I went shopping with my mom and that basically took up the rest of the day. But we did go to Joann Fabrics and I found, well, my mom saw this fabric. It was in the clearance section so long ago, months and months ago. And she's been, like, every now and again she'd mention that fabric, like, I'm gonna go back and get that fabric, and I kept telling her the fabric is not there anymore. Well, I'm pretty sure this is the same fabric. I don't know how this is possible. It's very nice fabric too, and it just sat in the clearance section for months, and somehow we came back and got 3 whole yards of it. So I'm gonna make my mom a dress out of this fabric. It has a light shine to it. It's a very dark navy. It's basically a midnight blue. So, update on the fabric, the denim that I talked about yesterday. I washed it twice yesterday. I washed it once with some Tide detergent that is better for removing odors, and then I washed it again with baking soda, and it smells fine, you guys. The scent is gone. So if you have some fabric that smells old and musty, or maybe some other type of odor, wash it with baking soda. That is really what got the scent out, and so I'm really happy with it, and now I can use this fabric. You can look out for a video with this fabric in the future. But now I will finally get to what I actually am supposed to be doing, which is turning all these pants into skirts. Let's get started.
Hello, and welcome to another video. Guess who's recording their voiceover for the 4th time today? It has been quite a morning. The audio, the microphone, the cables, connections, nothing has gone as planned, but we're getting it done and this video will be posted. Anyways, I don't know why I'm telling you that, because you guys don't care about this. This video is a little different than the videos that I have previously posted, in that it's more of a sewing vlog than my previous sewing vlogs. In between the time where I'm recording a video for YouTube, or I'm making a project specifically for YouTube and I'm making a point to film it, what do? Is just not sew at all? Actually, I still spend a lot of time behind my sewing machine even when I'm not working towards a specific project. So this is a few days in the life of an at-home seamstress and what I'm doing when I'm not making a dress for a YouTube video. What you see me doing here is I'm seam ripping some pants for a client. I have had a lot of pants to skirts requests from this particular client. She has had so many projects for me, which has been awesome. This is my first time, however, working with denim pants. And if you know anything about denim, they have that signature top stitch. And if you have any denim pants, any denim dresses, a denim jacket, you gotta top stitch those seams, and that is something that I have never worked with before, but seam ripping them is kind of a nightmare because I'll be seam ripping the singular seam and it takes like 4 different seams to actually open it up, which was kind of tedious, but it worked out okay. I ended up having to go through and grade a lot of the pants that she gave me because you saw those 2 big bags of pants. And the thing was, not all of them were actually going to work for making a skirt because they weren't wide leg enough. Some of them were just like straight leg or relaxed fit, whatever. So I don't know how many I had to start with, but I can tell you it was a mind-boggling amount. And after I graded them, I only had about 8 or 10, which was such a blessing. But she has let me know that she has more pants for me, so I'm gonna be turning pants into skirts for a long time. Anyhow, back to what I was saying about the top stitching. Top stitching is something that I'm not very familiar with, and I've never done it before, but I had to top stitch the front seam and the back seam so that those looked original, and you wouldn't be able to tell just by looking at it that this was pants that was turned into a skirt. And whenever I'm sewing, I make a point to try and make things look like it was originally meant to be that way. And so I was worried about the top stitching because when you have 2 seams running parallel to each other on the outside of a garment, I feel like there's a lot of room for mistakes and it won't be very forgiving. But it was a lot easier than I would have first expected, which was awesome, and I actually enjoyed the process of top stitching. And so that is a new skill that I can add to my sewing box repertoire, and so that was really fun. I'm gonna top stitch a lot more things now. Something else is I did not actually have top stitching thread at the time, and I wasn't able to get any at the time, so I just used my regular sewing thread. The difference is top stitching thread, especially for denim, you want to use a thicker thread, almost looks kind of like a cross stitching thread or an embroidery thread, so that it's more visible, because that's kind of the whole point of top stitching. It's kind of a decorative stitch, and so I didn't have any of that, so I just used my regular sewing thread, and it turned out good enough. It wasn't ideal, but honestly I'm very happy with the way that it turned out, especially for my first time top stitching. I was quite happy with the end result, and so that is something that I'm going to be able to do in the future, and I'm no longer afraid of top stitching because I've done it once, so I can do it again. Actually, I've done it more than once. I didn't take any before and after images, so you can't even see what the pants looked like before, but you can see the end result. This is the finish of those black denim pants, and I think it turned out pretty well.
Okay, so I had 10, I don't know how many pairs of pants I had. This is number 5 of the ones that I've completed. I already completed 4 and I gave those to my client. So this is the 5th pair that I have finished, and I have 4 more that I can finish. So that's about 8 altogether. And so we're about halfway through, which I am thankful for. I think it's pretty good. Okay, so next, I'm not actually gonna tackle the rest of these right now. This dress that I'm going to hem for my aunt, it is too long. This is a really simple project, but it is something that I need to do. So we actually had some issue finding a thread that matched. I went to the store to see what I could find, and this was the closest thing that I got. So I mean, you're not really gonna see the thread all that much, it's just on the hem where you're gonna see it, and if you notice that it is not an exact match, then you're probably standing too close.
So in that last clip, I mentioned that the thread was not an exact match, and after viewing this clip and looking back at it, it actually looks a lot closer as a match on camera, but it wasn't. The color of this dress is like a lavender mixed with pink color, and it's very pretty, but finding an exact thread that matched that was really difficult, so I just bought a lavender thread, which was the closest to the color of the dress. And like I said, you probably wouldn't notice unless you're standing too close and too low to the ground, because come on, that's just interesting. It turned out fine in the end, and my aunt liked it, and that is the most important thing, just as long as the client is satisfied. I ended up back at the fabric store later on this week because I can't stay away, apparently. I only needed to get some lace and some light green lining. Of course, I ended up purchasing more than I went shopping for because, come on, if you're a sewist, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You just have to sometimes. Like, the fabric is just calling to you. So I ended up forgetting to put a haul in this video of what I purchased and what I wanted to make with all of that, but you'll probably end up seeing some of those fabrics in future videos, so it's totally fine. I moved on to my next bag of projects afterwards. This is a bag of projects from a friend of mine, and she just wanted me to do some light alterations to a lot of these. This green dress would have been the most labor intensive. She needed a new lining because she wanted more coverage, and the lining that was already in the dress was not adequate enough for that. I started on this purple floral print blouse, however, and she just wanted me to take it in on the side so that it would be a little bit more of a tailored fit. I didn't have any measurements to work off of or anything, but I've worked with her before, so I figured I'd just take an inch from each side and that would probably be good.
Okay, we need to have a little chat. This one is done. I just need to iron that. This one is out. This one is maybe out. I need to contemplate it a little bit more. This one I would have to basically disassemble the majority of the bodice and the zipper and the sleeves and the elastic in the sleeves, and then have to put that all back together in order to reline this the way that it's supposed to be. I'm not even sure. I bought enough lining to do all of that. I got half a yard. Maybe I should have gotten a full yard. But this fabric it's extremely thin and sheer, and it's very prone to fraying. So if I seam rip all of this, I'm not sure the fabric is going to be able to hold up. It kind of feels like that fabric, like if it touches the water, it might melt away. So this one is out. I'm not going to touch that because I don't know if I take it apart, I'll be able to put it back together. And then for this one, I wasn't able to find any lace when I went to the fabric store to replace it. But I'm pretty sure it's burnt on this fabric. That was the issue with this one. It melted or something. Probably because the fabric is cheap, but you can see this lace. You can feel the burning. You can feel where it melted and it really started to turn back into plastic. And I'm pretty sure these ridges that I see on here are also the result of a hot iron. So I'm not sure if it's worth putting new lace in this when the fabric itself is also burnt. I'll have to figure that out. That's why I said this one requires more contemplation. And this is a dress. It has a high-low hemline, and I'm going to turn it into a shirt. So I'm basically just going to use the bodice as the majority of the shirt and then cut off the skirt portion. This should be really easy. So I'm not worried about that. And to sort of have an homage to what it used to be, I'm going to make the back of the shirt longer than the front, so it's kind of like that high-low finish, but in shirt form. So I'm going to iron the first project, and then I'm going to do this one, and I will be done with this bag of projects for now.
Here we have the results. So now I'm just going to serge this and then hem it, and this will be done.
Thank you so much for tuning into this video. I know I haven't been posting very consistently, and I'm going to try to get back to consistent posting schedule, but thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys next time, and keep it classy.